good morning and welcome to Bout Books Day 1. We are wearing a Read Star Wars t-shirt. The last time that I did Bout Books was this time last year, and it's going to be interesting.
Welcome back and welcome to another reading vlog. It's been so long since I said that. It has been a year since I took part in Bout Books, and I thought, well, if anything's going to motivate me to read some more, given the fact that my reading has been almost non-existent since January, it's going to be taking part in Bout Books, because there's no pressure. I've never felt any pressure. The only pressure I felt was the pressure I put on myself. And so we're going to go through what books I want to read. You can see the reading vlog, and then I'll come back at the end to tell you what I read, how I read, and how many pages I read. So I've literally aimed to read 2 books this week, 1 ebook and 1 audiobook. Didn't realise going into this that they were quite as long as they are. But yeah, so they're both books on my May TBR, so that is a good thing. But my ebook is The Summer Fair by Heidi Swain. I was really hoping to read this right at the start of the week and getting this read in time for publication day. That has not happened, but this is my TBR here. So then we have that on ebook, and that one came out in the UK on the 12th of May, which was the Thursday of Bout Books week. And then we also have London with Love by Sarra Manning, which I keep calling From London with Love. It's just London with Love, which I have the audiobook of because I pre-ordered the audiobook of this one, even though I did have a review copy. That one came out in the UK on the 5th of May. So basically just trying to keep it low key, just aiming to read those 2, and then that gives me one thing to read in bed / on the sofa / out and about, who knows, and one thing to listen to on my commute / when I'm doing the washing up, etc. But yeah, very low key. Only want to read those 2 things this week. If I can try and get those 2 read, then that's 2 books in a week, which is more than I've managed quite a lot of weeks of 2022 so far, because it's been a busy year so far. So have a look at the reading vlog, see what you think. It's definitely shorter than previous Bout Books reading vlogs. I made the mistake of watching last year's Bout Book reading vlog from this time last year. I can't believe it's been a year since I took part in one of these, living in a completely different place. Enjoy.
I'm very, very low expectations for myself. I would like to read From London with Love on audiobook, and I would also like to read The Summer Fair on ebook. Now I'm thinking, if I sort of aim to at least read when I get in from work and before bed, then I can definitely read The Summer Fair this week and just make that a priority as one of the many things that's on my to-do list. I then was making my, of course, coffee this morning, because what would a Katrina reading vlog be without copious amounts of coffee? And I was like, well, I should count the books that I read at school as well, because I haven't been counting those in my wrap-ups and things like that. But actually, you know, I've read a few chapter books with my class this year, and I've read multiple picture books. I'm also about to introduce them to some graphic novels. So I bought this one yesterday. Yesterday we went to Bath, and I went to Mr. B's Emporium for the first time, which was very exciting. I didn't know there were so many bookshops in Bath. I knew there were some good bookshops in Bath, but yeah, so I'm excited to read this one. It looks very, very cute. And I also have a range of sort of Star Wars and Marvel type graphic novels too, because that will appeal to my class. So I'm going to be reading some graphic novels with them this week, so that counts. And I think we might be going to finish Sam Wu Is Not Afraid of Zombies, and so I'm going to count that towards my page count. I can't count it as a whole book for this week because I think we're on chapter 15 or 16 maybe. I think we're aiming to finish chapter 15 on Friday, but that didn't happen. So I'll be listening to audiobook on my commute, and I will be aiming to read that ebook in the evenings. I'm not going to promise that I will read in the mornings because that will not happen. But yeah, come along with me. Let's see if we can motivate ourselves to do some reading. And then, yeah, also going to try and vlog my quick reads reading process, both of those things. Because yeah, May does end for me with a really long flight, so I'm quite optimistic about what May can hold. I'm excited about that flight as well. I'm like, oh, I could watch this movie, I could watch this movie, I could read this book. I'm like, well, yeah. And also there is only like 8-9 hours on the flight, so let's not overextend ourselves, because I will be tired, because it will be the first day of my school holidays too. Anyway, that's an aside. I'm sorry I didn't vlog making my coffee this morning, as I would normally do in a reading vlog, but that's how out of practice I am at making a reading vlog for you, as well as this weird angle that I've got going on. So it's Monday, I'm gonna go to school. I will be much more tired the next time you see me. Let's go. About to leave work, so it's time for some audiobook. Let's do this. Let's get this reading started. Again, not the most flattering shot this morning, which reminds me I need to put my microphone in my bag. So last night I didn't read the sort of aimed 20% of my book. We got the book nerd mug out for the readathon. But I did, when I got in the bath, read 11%. I couldn't read any more than that because I was super tired. So I'm just going to do my update on my blog saying what I read. I read up to chapter 8 in the audiobook. Haven't worked out what that one is yet, but probably don't have time this morning. However, that graphic novel that I showed you yesterday, we read all of that in class, so that counts as something. I think, yeah, this week I'm definitely going to count anything I read at school as a win as well, so we'll just see how we go on. Yeah, it was, got my Bones coffee again this morning. I'm very excited. I've not had the capacity to make like filter coffee or cafetiere, so we've unpacked the cafetiere now and I've unpacked the coffee, and so I've got that. It's very exciting, and we're coming together with an almost bookshelf over here. Not enough to show you yet, but it's something, isn't it? Every little helps, as Tesco says. Doing Tesco order right now. So first we're going to do some audiobook and laundry folding, because it's the only way to fold laundry, let's face it. And then I might do a little reading sprint of my own and see how much I can do of my ebook in 30 minutes. What do you think? Should we do that? I've got some iced tea, I've got some jelly tots. I'm a happy person. The fact that I am speaking to you from the car before going into work shows you what happened after folding laundry last night. So I got to the end of chapter 13 in my audiobook. So yesterday I read 20% of my audiobook. So I'm now 50% of the way through my audiobook. I haven't read 30% the day before. I read another 10% in my ebook. It's not working out to the 20% a day that I had hoped. However, I have a couple of shorter things that I also need to read fairly soon, and I have a full day on Saturday to hopefully do some reading. So fingers crossed the reading gets a little bit better. I read like about 10% and then my eyes are just like, we're not opening. That's it. We're not opening anymore. But I read some audiobook on the way to work today. I'm thinking it feels like a cross between One Day and How to Build a Girl. It feels very like
a combination of the two of those. And I just realised 50% of the way through that each chapter starts at a different station, and I'm liking that. If I'd sort of known that, I feel like maybe a little tour of the underground to talk about the book in those locations would have been an interesting thing to do. Maybe it's going to be a post-reading thing to do, just to go to those different stations. Get myself a travel card. Do travel cards still exist? I don't know. I've always just like tapped in the couple of times I've been since I've been back. But yeah, so I've been listening on the way to work, doing that. Sorted a video out this morning, did another load of laundry, put the cleaner in the washing machine, and so I am at work decidedly later than I normally am because I was doing home stuff before coming out. It's raining. That's rubbish. If you're a teacher, you know that that is rubbish. So just, I mean, wish me luck for the day, and hopefully I'll be back in the car listening to more audiobook again before you know it. I feel like I should count my chapters of the chapter book that I'm reading with my class, because we read 2 chapters yesterday, as well as a picture book and the graphic novel that we read on Monday, and we're getting very close to finishing this book, so that's very exciting. We might start a new one soon. But yeah, so hopefully, yeah, but yeah, probably reread the picture book today, so that should be fun. So this tea smells amazing, so I'm going to take it upstairs to bed, get into bed with my cup of tea and read my book. Hopefully, I mean, I've just looked at the time, it's not going to happen, but hopefully I might manage more than 10% tonight. Good news on the audiobook front. I mean, we knew that, didn't we? But I've read another 26% of my audiobook, so I'll work out the pages and pop that on my update post. Blog is linked down below if you want all the stats, but I'm sure I will give them at the end of the video with what I have and haven't read, how much coffee I've drunk. Yeah, I really thought I might get a little bit more ebook read tonight, or like at least finish something. I did not read an entire book at school today either, so the sort of book number is still just a graphic novel, a picture book, part of an audiobook, and a very small part of an ebook. I think it's just been so long since I actually sat down to read an ebook that I'm almost like forgotten how to do it at this point. I mean, this month I've read lots of graphic novels, so the whole sitting down and turning the pages thing is fine, but yeah. Good morning. It is a whole 5 to 6. Cheers to Yoda mug. And the first sip of coffee. Oh, that's better. Just that little sip, that first sip can't be beaten, can it? So as you may or may not imagine, cannot get this thing to escape. I did not get into bed last night and read. I got into bed last night and went straight to sleep. I was just very tired. I think I didn't quite realise what time it was when I was talking to you. It was like, we've just had dinner and I've done the washing up. And it was literally like 10:15. I got upstairs, and by the time I got the clothes out ready for tomorrow, it was like, it's time for bed now. So yeah. That book that I would have liked to have read for publication day today, I am 20% of the way through. There is a novella, first part of a new series from Holly Hepburn that comes out today. Could have read that and had that review ready for today. That didn't happen. It makes me feel really disorganised. I think it's just by the time you get to Thursday, it's so tiring. And this is the reality, I guess, of trying to read and have this career as well. But yeah, hopefully might get a little bit read today at school.
And also there's no hopeful about it, I will definitely finish my audiobook today, because it says I've got, on the speed that I'm listening on, it says I've got literally like an hour and 3 left. So I will listen on my commute. Yesterday I did listen a little bit, I didn't tell you this. I did listen a little bit while I was like tidying bits and pieces around my classroom, because when I get in the morning, there's generally not anybody else around my classroom, and so I can just put my audiobook on. I wouldn't do it with headphones just in case, but if I'm trimming sheets or sticking in or printing out or sticking up, then I can listen to audiobook at the same time, so that works. I remember I used to, in my previous job, listen to my audiobook whilst checking my emails first thing in the morning, but touch wood, thankfully I don't get quite as many emails in this job. So yeah, so I'm about to update on yesterday's progress. What did I say? I've read 26% of From London with Love. I'm annoyed because I think I forgot to put my update on the Bout Books website, so that's frustrating. Not From London with Love, just London with Love. So yeah, it's frustrating that I forgot to put the update on the website, because I had it ready to go and I have the update page literally open here on the computer right here, and just didn't do it. So yeah, I may or may not take part in the Twitter chat on Saturday. I think it's less likely to be not, because I think it's sort of later on in the day, so it's, you know, again, I'm likely to be out doing something, or yeah, it is later in the day, yeah, because I used to have to get up early in Denver, but I used to be able to do it when I lived here before, so I think it's like 1 o'clock or something like that. Yeah, I remember going and getting Subway and sitting and doing it when I lived in Maidenhead. Well, this has gone on for a 4-minute rant. Let's just drink our coffee, do this update, and get to work. Get in the car and listen to an audiobook. That'll be nice. So I've got my work coffee, and because it's Friday, we've gone fancy. As you'll have seen, actually frothed some milk. Fancy. So just got 1 shot double espresso in here, whereas the school coffee has 2. I should have done the school coffee in a red cup, shouldn't I? Because it's wearing red day today. I'm going to be doing some red art, but I'm looking over there, I'm like, I think all my red cups are Christmassy, so we'll go with the gold cup. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That is good. Did a lot of singing yesterday. My throat's quite sore. I'm hoping it's just from the singing. And there's a reason I chose the Short Abs Are Great But Have You Tried Donuts cup. Isn't it? We bought little mini cronut things at Costco last night, so I'm gonna have a couple of those for breakfast. Very fancy. Running late as usual, but I'm about to do my update. So I read the last, what would be 24% of From London with Love. It was quite a predictable ending, but I didn't vlog in the afternoon yesterday on the way to work. So obviously we're going through all these train stations, and it gets to the point where our main character finds that Jennifer, she changes all the way through, finds out that Princess Diana had died. And I just sat there and I thought, oh, we're gonna have to go through all the major world events. Are we gonna go through 9/11? And on my drive to work yesterday was the whole 9/11 chapter. And I almost like don't remember my drive to work. Of course, I know I was being safe, but all I can focus on is that chapter. It was very, very powerful. So, you know, trigger warning there, or care warning there. Obviously we had some other world events that we had to deal with, and therefore I can tell you that the audiobook, not only did it annoy me the way the narrator pronounced always and also, as somebody that teaches phonics, always, and also, it also annoyed me, also, the way the narrator pronounced COVID. Like, if you can't pronounce COVID properly, maybe call it like the coronavirus. I don't know. I've always called it COVID because it's COVID-19. But she pronounced it always and also and COVID. And I'm like, oh, it really annoyed. Thankfully, the COVID bit was just a small section. Then there was one section in the COVID bit where there was also and COVID, and it was just like, so it was a great story, but I do not recommend the audiobook. I recommend doing this one as a physical or an ebook in this case. And then I read another 16% of The Summer Fair. It's just got Heidi Swain's signature stuff sprinkled all the way through it. I'm sort of like waiting for this to happen. And I believe we have had our meet cute for a rom-com. I believe we have had our meet cute. So that'll be interesting. I am glad that I literally just put these 2 books on my TBR, but that means that we do get to, as I update just now, once I stop talking to you, do get to update the number of books read this week to 3. I mean, I read Field Trip to the Moon again yesterday, but it's actually a really good book, and we got some really good work out of it in week 1, and we're sort of continuing with the book for the next couple of weeks. It's racing towards half term. When I sort of booked my half term holiday, I was like, oh, it's so long away. No, it really isn't. Really isn't. It's amazing how quickly time flies when you're having fun in school. Anyway, I'm gonna have a little current up and do my little update, and then take myself on a little drive to work to do some more planning for next week. So I had a lovely evening of reading in the bath last night, and I think if I'd just had a little more about me, maybe if I hadn't had that nap after I got home from work, I would have finished The Summer Fair, because I'm at 85%, and I continued to listen to audiobook when I got into bed, so I think I could have done it, but I was like, if I end up in the car somewhere today, I want to have that to listen to, so I'm going to need a new audiobook. However, I'm just happy that it looks like I'm 100% going to finish the 2 books that I wanted to finish. It was painful at school yesterday. We were on the last chapter of our class novel, and I thought, oh, I'm going to finish this too, and all the kids were like, we're going to finish it, it's the last chapter. It was a really long chapter. If it had been a normal length chapter, we would have finished it. I was like, I'm going to have to stop, I'm really sorry, it's time to go home. They were like, no. I'm like, really sorry, we don't have any more time, so sorry. So that was a bit disappointing, but it was a funny day yesterday anyway, so it's good that we got to read any of the book. And now we're just going to make some coffee and get into bed, and I think what I'm going to do is pick up, I've got 2 sort of shorts, the first in a new series from Holly Hepburn and the first in a new series from Belle Osborne, and I think they're going to be what I'm going to read today, but I will also need a new audiobook. I do have some work to do, but I think that might be a job for tomorrow morning. I'm out during the day tomorrow, so probably, I won't get reading done, but I might get some reading before bed, so we'll just see what the page count ends up being. I think that's the other thing, is that neither of the books that I chose as my 2 books to read this week are short. They're both decent length books, and therefore page count's going to be important here. So despite not reading anything this afternoon, I had a really good reading morning. I read the first part of the new Belle Osborne short, which is a NetGalley book as well, and is on my main TBR, and I read all of that in bed with my nice coffee, and that was wonderful. Although now I want to read the second part, so I have to wait until that part is released, and then I have to wait 2 weeks after that for the second part, because they're released every 2 weeks. But it was fabulous. What's it called? Something
a wedding at Something Bay, part 1, or was a bridesmaid. The something part, Sandy Bay. And then we went out and got some Starbucks, got some shopping, and then we've just been catching up with some family and making a snack now. So then more reading can continue, because I did start listening to The Guilty Couple on audio. I have a physical proof of this one and an audiobook proof of this one, so there's no excuses for me not reading it. And it was also on my main TBR, so you never know, it might be something that gets finished today, because still got some cleaning to do, headphones are charging, ready to carry on listening, fingers crossed. And then I've got the first part of the new Holly Hepburn series as well, so that's a possibility to listen to. But yeah, got my cold brew to keep me going and sweating away, and then get back to you in a bit. We've got some live, just taken off my headphones there after a load of cleaning going on here. This is cockatoo like, isn't it? Just a little bit. Ooh. Done a lot of cleaning, unpacked a couple of things, we're on the way, all whilst listening to The Guilty Couple by Ciel Taylor. This one comes out on the 23rd of June, so it's kind of early, but I put it on my April TBR and took it away on holiday with me. Didn't read it, so I'm kind of wanting to read it now. My audiobook says I'm at 29%, just gone on to 30%. But when I plug in the page number that I'm on in the proof, which is 95, chapter 19, and stick it into Goodreads, it says I'm at 26%. So I'm on page 95, and it's just the usual Ciel Taylor thing of what's going on, who's this, what's the connection there, what is going to come out of this. They are short chapters, you have to listen to the details, and so it is an excellent one to listen to whilst cleaning and pottering and unpacking. I'm not sure if it would be a good commute listen. I suppose if I don't finish it, then I'll be able to let you know, but I'm enjoying listening to it so far. Definitely enjoying listening to it. I just realized that I haven't posted my update for today, so I need to go and grab my computer and do that, but there's also some things that I have unpacked that need taken downstairs. We'll do that at the same time, because yeah, I'm not 100% sure what I read yesterday now. So I should have done that first thing this morning when I got up, but I was too excited to just sit down with a cup of coffee and read the new Bella Osborne part 1. I'm still sort of thinking about that, even though I'm thinking about this Ciel Taylor one, but I'm loving the fact that my my headphones match the book. I'm like, also matches my outfit. Let me show you. This is my headphones. It's the black and red, and then here's the book. Black and red and black. Oh, there's a nice little Instagram worthy picture here. We've still got some winter bedding on, feeling like we might need to change that because it's definitely not winter today. Good morning. Late start to the morning this morning, but I have been listening to some of The Guilty Couple while I've been getting stuff done. Got a lot of blog posts done this morning, so I got my update from yesterday done and got my post all ready to post my wrap up and day 7 update tomorrow, and got some things ready for the week. I just need to sit down and review the books that I've read this week. So I listened to I'm now at 42% of The Guilty Couple, so that's quite cool. But there was that last chapter had 2 things that make me go oh in it, so you know that's good. I'm so intrigued by what's going on. No spoilers of course, but I'm like itching to get back to it. So I'm hoping, I've got a bit of work to do tonight, I'm hoping that I can listen whilst working. I think we can make that work, right? Yeah, some of it's just like putting some stuff into a PowerPoint, so that definitely lends itself to listening and working. I am at 22% of the ebook that I was reading, however, so I would like to try and finish that tonight as well. Don't know if that's a little bit ambitious given the fact that I'm about to leave for the day and won't be back until it's dark. Maybe not.
so I'm just back from my day of not reading. It's a great readathon vlog this, isn't it? But I picked up my Nespresso orders, so I thought I would show you what I picked up. I got this double espresso that I have not tried before, so I'm looking forward to trying that. And then I reordered, oh no, it's a new one. So this is the Ethiopia Master Origins, not single origins. Such gorgeous packaging, like they know what they're doing as a brand. But this is a Gran Lungo, which I sometimes like in the morning. I sometimes don't want a full mug every morning. I'm a little bit worried about the fact that it says it's floral and delicate, but I'm going to give that one a little try. I might even be tempted to try one of these just now, actually. That would be really interesting. And then I also got, the rest were reorders. I got another box of Bianco Leggero, which is what I made my perfect latte that I did not show you with this morning. So this is a double espresso as well, and that there shows that it's designed to be made with milk. That's why it doesn't have the strength rating. Love it. Everyone seems to love that one, and I can see what the hype is. And then I reordered a caramel cookie, which is another Barista Creations one. Reordered that one. I've had that one before. It's a mug size, and again it's a creation one, so that's why it's not got so pretty, isn't it? It's not got the strength rating on it, but again, just sticking one of those in the machine in the morning, having my mug of coffee, going good to go. And then I got my favourite, this is my favourite pod, the Hazelino muffin. I would never normally add hazelnut to my coffee. I'm not somebody that gets like a hazelnut syrup or anything like that, but I just love the flavour of this one. It smells amazing when it's being brewed, and then it's got that hazelnut flavour to it as well. I just add milk to it, little splash of milk, very nice. And then I got a couple more recycling bags, because I dropped off a couple of recycling bags full of pods. I think he gave me 3. I asked for 2, he gave me 3. And then he also, I was asking him about this pod, which is the Diavolito pod, which is a single espresso, as you can see. It's an 11, hence why it's dark blue. So this one is an 11. And I was asking him about it. He said, oh, it's really bitter. I said, would it work well as like a Vietnamese coffee type of thing, or like a cafe con leche type? I said, because that's what I do with the Il Cafe, which is also an 11. And he said, oh yeah, it worked really well for that. And so I said, oh, have you got one I can try? Because I don't want to buy a whole sleeve of them. And he was like, shh, don't tell anyone. I'm like, well, you're giving me a sample in the hope that I might come back and get another one. I'm buying several sleeves from you already. I'm telling you that I've got these other ones already. It's not exactly a crime that you're committing here. So let's give it a try. It's still, you know, still smells strong enough considering the fact that it's a 4. But then a Gran Lungo tends to be stronger anyway, doesn't it? I can see what they're saying about it being floral, definitely. But yeah, that needs some milk in it. I'm gonna put some oat milk in it. What we'd like to put in it is some amaretto cream or some Baileys or something along those lines, but it's a school night and I've had a bottle of wine tonight already, so we'll just put some milk in it. And then we're gonna go upstairs and we're gonna finish our ebook. And I think that'll probably close us out for the night, but we'll see. Need to sort out tomorrow's clothes, things like that. Do that before I get settled as well. The joys of going back to working a 5-day week. What's it like? I was looking back on last year's vlog. It's like very, very different. Very different indeed. Good morning. I do look like I feel this morning. We haven't drank the coffee yet, and I'm sort of about to be on my way out the door. Oh, that's better. So I just did my stats. I did finish my ebook last night. So I read the remaining 70 pages of that, which was the remaining 78% of it. I'm just checking because I've got my stats here because I've just done them all. I did listen to a little bit more audiobook as well, but as predicted, yesterday wasn't the best of reading days, which is interesting because it was the weekend, but I was literally out most of the daytime hours, and so I had that sort of little early morning-y type of bit. I rewatched the same vlog from last year, my May Bout of Books reading, and in it I say I rewatched the same vlog from last year, which is really funny. Apparently I have just repeated behaviours. So I read to 51% of The Guilty Couple, which was an additional 85 pages. So I'm halfway through that. I cannot wait to get in my car and keep listening to that, let me tell you. And then, yeah, I finished my my ebook. So I did audiobook in the morning, and I did ebook and a little bit more audiobook before bed, because why not? So altogether, if you count the books that I read in school, the picture book and the graphic novel, it was almost a 7 in 7 if I'd just kind of like pushed a little bit more, which I wouldn't have wanted to do because I'm tired enough as it is. But if I just pushed a little bit more, maybe on like Wednesday, Thursday, to finish my audiobook, and then started my Guilty Couple audiobook a little earlier, I think it would have been a 7 in 7. So I read 6.5 books, well, just over because it's a 51%. 6.5 books. My page count total was 1,353. On day 7, I read the least. Quite often on day 7 in these readathons, I read the most. So that was interesting. But yeah, I read a graphic novel, I read a picture book, I read 2 short ebooks, and I read 2 long, full-length rom-coms. Like, The Summer Fair was 448 pages and London with Love was 432 pages. So that's why, even though I didn't do 7 books and 1 was a picture book and 2 were short ebooks, my sort of page count total is 1,353 pages. I sometimes feel like since January I haven't done any reading at all, and I'm not having any sort of dent or impact on my TBR. But then I'm like, well, I read 1,353 pages. That's like 2 500-page chunky thick novels and 1 350-page normal length novel. And most people don't even read 1 book in a week. And so it actually tracking my week and pushing myself a little bit more this week. You know, I know I won't necessarily read the same this week coming. However, I am going to try and do my quick reads reading vlog this week coming, but it's not going to be a like we start on Monday and we end on Sunday. It's going to be like we start when we read the first book. So make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on that vlog. But yeah, it makes me feel a lot better about my reading. The fact that even if I'm managing to read an audiobook a week, that's huge, that's massive, that's still more than a lot of people read. I sometimes feel like I don't read anymore. It's not part of my identity anymore. I can't claim it. But no, I am a reader. I do still read. I do need more coffee though. I will be back when I've woken up for the day, even though I am literally about to leave the house, and give you a proper wrap up with everything that I did read. But I'm quite happy sort of reflecting on it just now, and I think it's hilarious that towards the end of last year's vlog from this time, I said, I've just watched last year's vlog from this time. But yeah, it's interesting because obviously I was over in Denver. I was like, okay, so I've got to do this now, and I've got to do this now, and oh, I can't do this, and I'm like, oh, and I surprised myself with how much I was in the gym. I'm like, I quite miss listening to an audiobook in the gym. I quite miss just having a gym downstairs from my apartment. I definitely miss the lack of pain in my knees because of it. Who knew that working out would be good for arthritic knees?
So there you have it. Here's what I read and how many pages I read. So my TBR was to read The Summer Fair by Heidi Swain, which I did. I ended up switching to the audiobook since the ebook evaded me, but reading it by publication day. I did finish this one during the week. I have not reviewed it on my blog yet, but hopefully by the time you're watching this, I will have reviewed it on my blog, because I think we might end up with that going up tomorrow as you're watching this, if you're watching it the day it goes up. So this one was 448 pages. I did not realise putting both these books on my TBR and just having these two books on my TBR was so many pages. So between the two books, it's nearly 800 pages, because London with Love by Sarra Manning is 432 pages. And I did manage to read that as well. So just between the two of those, like I say, nearly 800 pages. So I decided to count the books that I was reading in school, as you'll have seen from the vlog. So I read Field Trip to the Moon, which is a sort of rhyming graphic novel that flips the aliens have landed type of thing on the aliens are the ones who have been invaded by the astronauts, the humans, and I really recommend it. It was a great inspiration for some writing as well. And then the other one that I read at school was a graphic novel. This is a Narwhal and Jelly book, which I believe is published by Quirk as well. So I have read a few Quirk graphic novels. I think I remember seeing this on the table when I was at BookCon, which again happened only like 3 years ago. I was there in 2019 at almost the same time. That's crazy to me. But yeah, really enjoyed this one. So the more picture book type one was 48 pages, and then Narwhal and Jelly is 64 pages, so that adds to the page count as well, which is great. And then I read two short ebooks. So I had a longer ebook that then became an audiobook, and then had an audiobook, and then I read two short ebooks, which both come out in May, but one of them was on my May TBR and one of them I'd forgotten was coming out, so it wasn't on my May TBR. However, I ordered it when it came out. Normally with these ones, I review them really quickly, but I think just because I was like, I just want to read this week, I have not reviewed them yet. So that's maybe a job for tomorrow morning. Who knows? So I read Escape to Darling Cove, Part 1, New Horizons, which is the start of a new series by Holly Hepburn. Holly Hepburn ones normally come out sort of once a season, so she's writing 4 across the year, and then they come out as a bind up later on. And this one is set on a new island that's called Ennisfarne, and is one of those up in the northeast that's accessible by a bit of land, a strip of land that then gets covered over by the tide, so you can only go in and out at certain times. A little bit of claustrophobia there, but it is a dual narrative, which is quite different. And I was like, there's a bit of mystery here, a bit of people hiding things going on. So we shall see where that series goes. And then a series that I really enjoyed the start of. This one doesn't come out until the 26th of May, so I had this one on NetGalley, so I really do need to review it so I can pop it onto NetGalley as well. But this one will come out every 2 weeks after that, and then the bind up will come out after 2 weeks after the fourth part is. So I've only got 2 weeks. I've only got to wait until 2 weeks after the 26th, so that's not too bad. That's right at the start of the last term of the academic year, which is exciting and something to look forward to. And this was A Wedding at Sandy Cove, Part 1, Always the Bridesmaid. But I am loving this so far. I started reading this and basically couldn't stop, so that's exciting. It's always nice when a book kind of grabs you like that. And then speaking of books grabbing you, well, so just to tell you about the page count of those two, Amazon gives me the page count of Escape to Darling Cove as 89 pages, and then I could not find a page count for A Wedding at Sandy Cove. Are they both coves? Yes, how funny. I could not find a page count for A Wedding at Sandy Cove at all. So what I did was I took the page count for the complete novel and split it into 4, because each of the parts will be a quarter roughly of that. So it's not an exact page count that we're going to come up with a total at the end, but it is just about. And then, yeah, speaking of books that grip you, this one I did not manage to finish during the week-long readathon, but as I am filming this, basically the next day. I have finished it because it's so compelling, and when you see the author, there'll be no surprise. Well, you already know from the reading vlog itself. So this is, don't know why does it do that? There we go. This is The Guilty Couple by Ciel Taylor. This one comes out in the UK on the 23rd of June in glorious hardback and ebook. And I had and audiobook even, and ebook obviously. And I have a gorgeous floppy paperback proof of this one. But I also got access to a NetGalley audio review copy. So I was able to listen to this one on audio. So I listened to 51% of it during the readathon, but have listened to the rest of it since. I mean, I couldn't stop listening to it. I would go into work and just put it back on again as I was answering emails and things. So during the readathon, I read 180 pages of this. So all in all, I finished 6.5 things. Normally I like to do a 7 in 7 for about a books. I was just aiming to read 2 books, so having read 6.5 is huge. And the page count total for the week, because I read those longer books and a half of another full length book, I actually read 1,353 pages, which I just think is amazing. Like, given the fact that I feel like I'm not reading at all anymore, I'm just literally listening to audiobooks on my commute and nothing else. I think that is epic, and I'm really happy with that. I didn't take part in any of the Twitter sprints or reading in place things. I didn't take part in any of the chats. I didn't take part in any of the Instagram photos, but I was updating my daily page count, and I found that really motivating to see that I have in fact not read nothing today. I've read something today, and I've made a dent in this book, and I've made a dent in this book. And then counting the 2 complete books that I read at school also really helped. We are reading another chapter book in school, but I decided not to count the chapters towards that, even though we did finish that yesterday. So that's very exciting. But I decided not to count the pages towards that because I thought, well, I didn't start it during the readathon. I'm not going to finish it during the readathon, so I'm not going to count that one. But I did read some chapters of other books at school as well, so that's very exciting. And yeah, I found it really, really motivating to do my daily updates, and I did of course share those on the Bout of Books blog as well, because you can link up your daily posts too. So it's just nice having that something familiar and that familiar readathon, even though it looks so different to all the times I did it whilst living in Denver and all the times I did it whilst not working. Who remembers the May Bout of Books back in 2018, where I started it here in the UK in London? Part of it was at Heathrow Airport and on a flight to Denver, and I finished it in my apartment in Denver in possible sunshine, possible snow. I can't even remember. Gonna go back and watch that one right now as I'm uploading this video. Yeah, it's been a real different one this time, even though the May one in particular seems to have been very different. I definitely couldn't have done the January one, and I couldn't have done last year's August one, so it's nice sort of returning to this a year later. So I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've enjoyed a little bit of a sort of almost return to normality, even though we haven't had as many like, I'm reading this right now, because generally I've been in the car or in bed whilst reading. Do let me know in comments your thoughts, and if you took part or if you would like to see more of these. I will have another reading vlog coming your way very soon, as well as a couple of different book versus movie videos coming your way too. So make sure you hit that notification bell and make sure you are subscribed so that you don't miss out on future bookish content. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you with another video very soon. Thanks for watching.